Here we're going to solve this rational equation, and notice that the denominators, the bottom number of each fraction, are different. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to make them so they are not fractions anymore, and then we can solve for x. So to do that, we're going to find a common denominator. It doesn't have to be the least common denominator, it just needs to be a denominator they can have in common. And we're going to do this by just multiplying the two denominators, 2 times x plus 1. And now we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by this 2 times x plus 1. So we're going to multiply this side by 2 times x plus 1 and this side. Now when we multiply the left side, that means we need to multiply this by 2 times x plus 1 and also this. So let me write that out. And now we're going to look and see what do we get in each of these three cases when we're multiplying by 2 times x plus 1. So if we look at the first case first, remember that if you have a number in the numerator, in the top, that you also have in the denominator, you can cancel it out, because this is basically saying 2 divided by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So for this first term, we just end up with an x plus 1 times x. And the same for the second one. We have an x plus 1 in the denominator and also in the numerator. So x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 is 1. So we're just left with 2 times 3. And then for the last one, whenever we multiply anything times 0, the answer is 0. So this is what we have. So first, let's simplify. Our first step is to just distribute. In this first case, we could have written it like this. Instead, we're still just multiplying x times x and x times 1. And then 2 times 3 is 6. And then all of that is set equal to 0. So this is what we have. Now, since it's already set equal to 0, we can now factor to solve this quadratic equation. So we need to remember that when you have x squared as the first term, then we can set up 2 parentheses here and put x at the beginning of each set of parentheses. Now what we're doing is we're looking to put in here 2 numbers that multiply to give us the last number. So multiply to give us -6 and add to give us the middle coefficient, which is +1. We assume that that's a 1. So what 2 numbers multiply to give us -6 and add to give us +1? Those 2 numbers are +3 and -2. Now we can solve this quadratic equation by using the zero product property. Remember, when you have numbers that multiply together, like in this case, and the answer is 0, then one of these numbers must be 0. So either x plus 3 equals 0, and if that's the case, the answer is -3, or x minus 2 equals 0. And if that's the case, x is 2. So our 2 answers are x is -3 and x is 2.